Hi, good afternoon, my lovely community, my Woman of Worth community. Happy Saturday, happy Sabbath, happy weekend. I hope that you all are having a productive one. Again, I am here this week and happy, excited to be here to share with you. And as I've always made mention, because of the struggles I once faced and now understanding and walking in value and victory, I am here to share with you some of the things that I've done, the tools in which I have used, so that I'm now in a better position. I'm now able to share with you. And as I've always also mentioned, that I believe it's my responsibility to share with those of you who may be struggling with some of the very same things that I have, and also to share for my guests, to share with you too some of what they have done in order to improve their life or themselves. And so I'm going to be adding my guest. And so I just want you guys to just hold on 1 second as I add her right here. I'm waiting for her to join us. I'm not sure what's happening, but until then, um, I I like to encourage individuals. I like to share the wisdom of God with others, because it is really the wisdom of God, in addition to my faith and action, that has caused me to be at this place of value and victory, today, that, enables me to sit with you confidently and boldly, and to say and share some of the things that I do share with you from my personal life and experience, as well as some information, to educate you, as I go along, some of the things that I learn and come to understand. I All right, let me try again to alert. I'm not sure what's happening. Yes. So, because I like to encourage, inspire, educate, and inform others, it is a pleasure to also have my guests join with me to share with you, my beautiful people, my lovely community, my Woman of Worth community. And because I want you all to grow in the very same that I have grown, and I'm still growing in the very same that I want you all to grow too. And that is the main objective of today's stream. And so I have with me my special guest, Sammoy Duncan, who is a leading Jamaican hairstylist, who I am super duper always excited to have join us. This is a woman who I admire. She is a woman that inspires me too. Yes, so though I am here to inspire you, ladies and gentlemen, for those gentlemen who join us, uh, I too am inspired by others. I mean, I'm a human being, right? So just as though I pour out into individuals, it is a joy when others pour out in me, or there's something about their lives that I emulate or admire and try to apply something from their lives to me. With that said, some more Duncan, how are you, girl? Listen, I even forget to tell you guys. This girl, other girl, a young woman that I admire, she is somebody who, her personality, her pleasantness is just a kind of little bit contagious for me. She's always smiling. So what you see here, guys, is no fake. So, Samoy, I want you to introduce yourself to the lovely people who are here with us today. I want you to do the super introductions. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I am Sammoy. As Aura mentioned, I am very talented hairstylist, so to speak. I've been told by many of my clients, as well as persons, friends, and family, I have been in the beauty industry for over 10 years. I won't say exactly how many, but over 10 years. Um, it has been a great experience. You know, there are challenges as well with any other industry. There will be challenges, but I've been doing it, as I said, for more than 10 years. I've had experience in editorial. I've worked for quite a few companies. I've done wedding styling, etc., and the list goes on. But I'm very grateful to be in the position that I am in right now, and yeah, that's basically me. I don't like to, for me, I don't like to, what some persons will call gloat. I'm a very humble individual.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, in my field, and I enjoy what I do. I love what I do. I love learning. I love sharing what I've learned, and I intend to continue sharing, growing, and spreading the love, the hair love.
Yes, so you see, guys, you are in the
Yeah.
right place today because just as how I love to share with you, this woman, this leading hairstylist, has just shared too that she loves to share with others. And that goes to show that we're not selfish individuals, which we ought not to be. We should really be mindful of those around us, and especially other women who are coming up, whether they be professional women, mothers, friends, sisters, whoever you may be. It is always good for us to look out for each other and to share with each other,
It
right?
is.
And
It is.
I know, and you just made mention that you love what you do, but how did your love for hair started? Who or what inspired you to do that? We see you. Thank you, guys and dolls, for joining.
I'd say hi, Mel. I'd say my older sisters, because I grew up seeing them do each other's hair. Um, they'd have these very intricate styles, meaning like cornrows, how we call it. And there was this book that my aunt was a hairstylist, and my mother used to assist her in her salon. So I'd hear her talk about her times with her sister and so forth. And I would definitely, it wasn't for me, it was like a natural talent, so to speak, because growing up and persons asking you, what would you like to become? For me, it was always, I want to become a lawyer, right? But then I had always had this talent. I was very good at it, and I wanted to get better at it. So like even in high school, I would do my peers, I would do their hair, and they'd see it and like it, and you'd had other persons come over and who did your hair somewhere. They wanted to try it too. And I just grew more into it and realized that with doing hair, it does help make persons feel good about themselves.
Yeah.
And I like doing that, I always encourage that. So for me, other than it being a natural talent or skill that I worked on, yeah, I'd say my mother and my older sisters. That's right. Came
That's
from.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's like what you call it now? That's like a legacy. That's like a
Yeah.
legacy, a legacy. That is so awesome. And what I like too about that is that you not only just saw it happening, but you actually took a step to do something with what you saw.
I did.
And also, you made mention that you wanted to become a lawyer. Can I say that that's what I wanted to become too, growing up? But here we are on two different paths of our lives. We're
Yeah.
pursuing two completely different things. And so, for my ladies who are watching, because you wanted to be something when you were young and you happen to be on a different trajectory, it does not mean that that's the end of life. It's what it means is that you can still pursue purpose. As a matter of fact, who knows? Later down the road, you may even become a lawyer. Who knows? But you're pursuing something that you have a passion for, something that you have a love for,
Mm-hmm.
something that you do with much care, something that you do with much zest, if I may say so. And because of the quality service that you give over the years, and we did a live interview a year ago, about a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking about uh, you know, your consistency, how consistent you are. And we know this. For those who are watching and you know someone, always consistent. Consistent in the service, in what she does, and consistent in the way in which she treats you while you're sitting in her styling chair. And that's one of the things that I absolutely love and admire most about, right? Hey, we see you. Yes, the best hairstylist ever I've ever had. I see
Hi,
you.
Deborah.
Yes, and so because of that, uh, I would have shared in the introduction to that's the flyer that I posted yesterday on what to expect today in our interview. And the part of your bio is that you worked at a salon at the Martha Vineyard. I want you
I'm
to
my
tell us
husband.
about
Yeah.
Martha's Vineyard, right? And I want you to share what that experience was like, experiencing here, experiencing here care, experiencing servicing on on an international scale and with a set of clientele that, maybe would have been a little different perhaps based on maybe culture even, in
Mhm.
what their service expectations are like. So share with us what that experience was like for you.
All right. So going into Martha's Vineyard, for me, whenever I hear of like a new opportunity or let's say I'm going to a different town, I always like research to see what it's like, what it looks like, what the people there are like, and that I surely did before I stepped foot there. Um, Going in and meeting my boss, he was of a different ethnicity, right? And working here in Jamaica, you're used to a certain environment. It's a great environment because the persons I've worked with are very great, very talented, and I've learned to, what you call it, pull or but pull good energy. I like to
Mhm.
observe, very observant. So if ever you have me around you learning, and I'm a very visual learner, so I'll stay and I'll watch you and I'll adapt good stuff. Because everybody has their side. So whatever is good or whatever I think is worth grabbing, I will definitely grab onto that. When I met my boss, no, he was into teaching. He didn't mind me. He was right here in the styling chair and I was right beside him. They say when you're learning from a stylist, it's best to stand on the opposite hand, that their opposite dominant hand. Let's say if
Oh,
you're right-handed, I stand on his left to see what he's doing because you don't want to bug him if you're on his right and he's right-handed. And he was very encouraging. I learned so much from him. When I was working there, he would say, I can teach you. There's a saying I say, I can teach you how to fish, but I can't catch a fish for you. Something like
right.
that. He said it. I
Yeah.
don't remember the exact wording for the phrase,
Yes,
but
somewhere along that line.
yeah, it stuck with me. I tell you, it stuck with me. And he would show me the different techniques and how he achieved stuff because his thing is you make your work easier, you work smarter, not harder, right? And I tell you, man, quite a few of the stuff that he told me, I hold on to them and I talk about it. Quite a few of my clients probably have heard the story because I'm always talking about him. I've learned so much from him. And starting there and the clients there, I must say when I got there, I had in braids. When you're traveling, you always try
Yes,
to find hairstyles that are easier for you to manage or something that you don't have to do much to your hair. I had in braids and like they weren't really used to the clients weren't really used to the braids. They'll ask, is that your hair? And I say, it's extensions. you can touch it, and they would let them touch it to let them get comfortable and myself get comfortable with them to see to what extent it would be. But they were very welcoming. All the clients that I had, they were very welcoming. You know, when you have a new person into the salon, they'd be like, I'm not sure if I want her to do it, but when they see how I go about approaching them and welcoming them and telling them I'm going to be their stylist, this is what I'm going to do, what would you like me to do for you? They started to warm up to me, and it made my job easier.
Yeah,
When they come back in the shop, they'd request me, you know, everybody that getting requests. When you
yes.
just come back to you, all right, then yes, the person like me. So for me, it was definitely a great experience working. It definitely was. Learned so much, and I really appreciate him too, because he took the time out to like some of the skills that some of the level that my skill level wasn't up to his par. I can do my job, but you know, there's always another level that you can
Right.
always go, and he was
Absolutely.
willing to take me under his wing and say, hey, do it this way. I'm going to do it I'm going to show you how to do it so you can better able to build on your skill. And what he also did too was say to me, um, I am going to teach you something. So if it's up to you, if you want to, right? So he said, get a couple mannequins. It's as soon as he said to get something, I get it. And after work, he would have us, because my cousin was there too. My sister was there and my cousin was there in the same salon. And I went and I ordered the mannequins, whatever he told me to order. I did. I got it. And after work, mind you, you're working your 8 hours per day, and then after work he would teach you highlighting skills, cutting skills, and different techniques. And trust me, your girl was in it to learn everything. I sure
I
did.
like that.
I grabbed and grasped everything.
And
Everything.
I've always liked that about you too. And funnily, you kind of jumped into sharing some tips already. So I hope that my viewers who are watching
Yeah.
live and those who are watching on the rebound, I hope that you would have recognized that Sammoy already is sharing some tips on how to build your brand. So we are already delivering, as we had made mention, or I had made mention in the flyer post on what to expect today. And so later on, however, we're gonna go through them detailed, right? So I thank you so much for sharing that, and I want to say thank you again for everyone who is joining. Feel free, my lovely people, to share your comments. Feel free to ask your questions when we would have gotten a little bit further down into the podcast, into the interview, so that my leading lady and professional hairstylist here in Jamaica, Sammoy Duncan, can share some of the very easy but helpful quality tips that can aid you in better caring for your hair. With that said, you are a very creative, versatile, meticulous, and a passionate hairstylist. I know this about you. I'm sure you know this about yourself. And like you made mention earlier, you're not one to glow into that kind of a thing. But there's a common saying that goes in Jamaica: give unto Caesar what is due unto Caesar. And you are so deserving of all these praises, and that is because your work speaks volume for itself. You don't necessarily have to say anything. Your work in and of itself speaks volume for you, right? And uh, you also have a very warm and welcoming personality. So it would be very hard for persons to come into your chair, or you enter into another space and persons are not, drawn to you. You do naturally have that. So you have nothing to worry about, that kind of a thing, which is sweet. Now, saying all of that, what would you say are some of your additional characteristics that have set you apart from other hairstylists or brands? What
I,
do you think sets you apart?
I'd definitely say my ability to stay humble and also to be welcoming. I'm a very good listener. So it's like once you come into my chair, I definitely have you sit, ensure that you're comfortable, and then I ask you, how can I serve you? What would you like me to do for you? Right? So with doing that, I find that persons warm up. They like that. So
Yeah.
if I'm meeting even my older clients, or I not older age wise, the clients that I've had for quite some time, still to date, if they come into my chair, I say to them, what would you like me to do for you today? What would you like to have for your hair? How would you like your hair to be done? What do you see yourself wearing your, how do you see yourself wearing your hair? Is there anything you want to change? And so forth. So for me, it's my ability to listen as well as take constructive criticism. If it is that you are asking of me to do something for you that I think doesn't suit you or don't go well with your personality or your routine, then we'd have a discussion and I'd go into explaining how we can better work towards it or against it, because not everything a person comes and say or asks for they are willing to get, and you are a living example of that.
Yes.
But yeah, I have to take into consideration not only the fact that you're coming to see me, but also person's routine, because that is a whole different ball game. You can ask me for something and then I give it to you, and at the end of the day you are not let's say I call my clients my walking billboards. They're not advertising it as well, or you're not, you ask for the style, but then when you get it, you don't know what to do with it. So all of those stuff I take into consideration. So, and it does help my brand. It speaks for my brand, as well as I just mentioned that they're my walking billboards. So that's how I do build. I'm a great listener. I sure do
I love that.
listen.
I love that key factor right there, a good listener, because I'm sure you would have probably heard some of the stories. I have heard some, I have seen some for myself at other places that I have been or used to work years ago, where clients may say they want a particular style, and sometimes you have some hairstylists who will just do whatever the client wants, or sometimes even just do what they want without really consulting, or even, as you made mention, sharing your professional advice to say, okay, I hear you, I understand what it is that you would like me to do, but here's what I'm suggesting. I love that about your service. There's so many things that I love about your service. It's not even funny. And I really do believe too that these are some of the qualities that you possess that causes you to be a leading hairstylist in Jamaica. And I truly, truly admire that about you. So for those who are watching, you've heard it. It is important to be a good listener when clients sit in your chair. That will take. That's why I believe uh, can be something that, how should I put it? I believe that that too is something, those qualities that you possess are something that can uh, be defined or causes you to experience success in your business, in your profession. And I say that because sometimes persons may say, some person define success as making money, making a lot of money.
Mhm.
Now, others may not agree. Others may define success differently. And uh, for you, how would you define success? Tell me what would be, if you would see it in the very same as some would say, oh, making a lot of money, or some person may even say, well, in this field, a lot of money is made or can be made. But
Mhm.
outside of that, what would you say, or how would you define?
All right. So you definitely need funds because you need to
Right.
maintain. You need to maintain the skill that you have and the talent that you have in order to serve your client. But for
Right.
me, my success is the joy on my client's face after they've received their hair care service. Not just the styling, but the caring and how they react after receiving like a simple, well, I'd say a simple service as a shampoo, right? Because that's
Mm-hmm.
like the main or the first thing that they get done after their consult and we decide to go into a service, right? So for me, success is how my client react to my service, how they go about telling persons about their experience, as well as how they the feedback that they give from me. As I said, money is definitely important because we cannot operate without it.
Right.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
can't. But the how I make my clients feel after their service, that's success for me. And being able to retain them too, because that is not something easy. But when you find that you're able to retain your clientele as well as build on that same clientele from the same clients, that's amazing.
Amazing. I love it. I love that. I love that. There are some hairstylists who may have been in the industry for about the same time that you have been. Some may have even been in it for longer, but they are struggling to be as successful or to have a successful brand as yours is. And, or in other words, uh, what would you say are some of the do's or don'ts in being a hairstylist, or for those who are struggling to improve their brand or to build on their brand or to have new clientele? Because some persons may have the older clientele
Mhm.
that they've had for years, and there has not really been any or much growth in the increase in clientele. So how or what advice would you give to hairstylists who may be struggling in that aspect? And I mean, maybe what you're about to share too can be applied not just to a hairstylist, but other
Mhm.
professionals.
What it is that, well, you definitely have to be dedicated to whatever field or aspect. As you say, it may not have to be a hairstylist or the beauty industry, but whatever it is that you do, you have to be dedicated to it. Apart from being dedicated, you have to invest in yourself and your talent. Whether it be money or whether it be financial investment or time, you definitely
Yes,
have to
girl.
invest. And with that, it is hard working like a 9 to 5 and then having to do studies in between. But mine, might I say, a whole host of other persons have done it before you, have done it before me, and still managed to
Are you
maintain.
prophesying to me right now and encouraging me as a student and a full-time worker and a mom?
I'm encouraging myself as well.
Thank you. Thank
Because
you for
it's
saying
hard.
that. I hope that just encouraged someone else too.
Yes, it is hard, but you definitely have to. Time waits on no one. And if you sit around and say, all right, then I'll do it tomorrow, this person didn't achieve it until this age, so I can wait until then, you
Yes.
are definitely basically procrastinating. So it's always best to, step out, try something. If it don't work, you give yourself a break from it and then you try again, not to give up on yourself. Because mind you, leaving from a salon, working for somebody, and venturing out on my own to do everything myself was a huge leap because I didn't factor in how much things I would have to be doing for myself, right? Because I was basically, because I have a team now, right? I was basically doing everything for myself. I was managing the phone calls, I was styling the clients, I was shampooing the clients. When I say everything, I was doing the social media handle myself, even though I still try to get into it. I had to let go of some of the other things in order to better serve my clients. So you definitely have to invest in whatever it is that you hope to do or aspire to do?
Like I love hearing about investment, and that is a key factor. A lot of persons do invest in themselves, but you do have some too who may not understand or see the real significance of investing and how much investing in ourselves, how much it can do for us, how much we can reap when we invest in ourselves. And like you said, investment can look like financial investment, it can look like simple time, taking the time, maybe researching, like you said, that is even investing, taking the time to research things, to learn more about something, and also in having other people on board to help us, because sometimes we may think that we can do everything on our own, or sometimes we may start off small and we're managing okay, but as we're being increased, as we have grown, as our capacity have been stretched or we have been enlarging in one way or another, it is imperative for us to have persons on board. And I am happy that you said that, because it goes to remind us that it is not easy. It's just not easy to balance the many different things that we have to do. Now, you've kind of gone into some of the tips, but just to close up this segment, I want you again to share. I have written down some of them. I don't want to know if you want me to, share them, or you want to just go ahead and say, what you need to say, and then I just add at the end of it. If you don't mention back some of these that I wrote.
Oh, you can go ahead.
All right. So one of the things, the tip, before we go into the tips for hair care. So some of the things that Sammoy has just mentioned that is very imperative, very important to do is to seize opportunity. And sometimes opportunities come our way. Sometimes some of us may not even know how to identify the opportunities. Some of us may see the opportunities, identify them, but we don't know how to grab a hold of them. And sometimes we may grab a hold of it, but we did not know how to fully utilize the opportunity. And so it kind of creates a little bit of a hiccup for some of us. You've also mentioned about researching, like we just said a while ago. You've talked about when you're being learned or taught by an individual, someone who is at another level. It is good to be humble. It is also good to be on the opposite side of the individual's dominant hand. You may have shared this with us before in our stream last year, but I don't remember. But that is something that I don't recall hearing before, which is very key. You talk about investing. You talk about being a good listener. And good listener can not only be applied as a hairstylist. If you're a hairstylist watching, this can be applied throughout our entire life and relationships that we have with each other. You've also mentioned constructive criticism. How many of us are willing to do that? That really takes humility, because not many people can absorb a constructive criticism and see for what it is. Some may think that persons are just trying to attack them, trying to say something negative, just trying to be bad, and all kind of stuff. So I like that you say all of those things and being dedicated. These tips that you share, they're actually practical tips that I think can be applied throughout every era of our lives in the different professional fields that we function or operate as women. So I thank you so much for sharing that and investing in ourselves. And to try again. If something you tried something and it didn't work, try again. You've heard it from a leading lady, Sammoy Duncan, a leading hairstylist here in Jamaica. Can we hear it for her, please? We need to show my sister some love here. She is a wonderful woman. We need to show her some love. So now I want you to tell us what are some of the services that you offer. You briefly kind of touched on it in the earlier stages of introducing yourself, but what are some of the services that you offer, and what are some of the tips that you can share with the viewers who are watching with us?
All right. So as persons would have seen, well, for persons that have been on my page, they would have seen it in my bio. I do editorials. I do bridal hair. I do every, if all the hair care services that are out there, including but not limited to keratin, highlighting, balayage, foliage, different kind of hair care treatments and styling. Um, as it relates to as it relates to hair care, I want to touch on that. It's a very important part of getting your hair done. Most persons or some stylists, depending on what area of styling they do, they tend to forget
Mm-hmm.
about the hair care, right?
Guilty.
Yeah. It's very important. There are persons that do a lot of protective styling, however, they still forget to take care of the hair under or within that protective styling aspect. But
Mhm.
I do offer a wide array of treatments. So if it is not mentioned in this, it's definitely on my page. There's a link in my bio that you can click on and you see all the services, the packages, and everything that's there to do with hair. I do a whole lot, like whole lot. I don't limit myself where hair care is concerned.
Which is great. Which is great. You made mention of hair care, and before later, I'm gonna say something too about the hair care in terms of. Let me leave that for later. Now, we just celebrated Mother's Day here in Jamaica.
Mhm.
Uh, we're still in Child's Month because the month of May is observed as Child's Month, and it's also Mental Health Month, right? So, uh, you are a mom, a professional
I
mom. You
am. I am.
are a soccer mom.
I sure am.
And I know, you know that this field can be very demanding at times.
Mhm.
And especially in the peak season, there are some peak seasons that we have in this field that is just super, super busy. And especially with you being, well, you now have a team, but you're pretty much, if I may say that, you're someone who you're on your own,
Mhm.
right? So you don't necessarily have a full staff yet in that regard, like a huge salon with X amount of persons working with you yet, because I see it coming.
Definitely,
So
definitely.
with the demand, right? If we're not careful too, we can easily get burnt out,
Mhm.
right? So with that said, and we can be ineffective as well in the services that we're offering, right? So I want you to share with us, how do you take care of your mental health and the self-love or self-care?
Okay, for me, I definitely ensure that my off days are my off days. I do not work on my off days because with everything that you do, you definitely need to take time for yourself, as well as the fact that you're working towards something. You definitely need to enjoy what you're working towards, and that's something that my mother has always instilled into me, because she realizes too that I work hard, because she see the late nights and the early mornings, and she'd say, remember, when you're working hard, you still need to enjoy what you're working for. So I definitely stick to my off days, and my off days are the days that I take to relax and to, zen out a little. Those are the days, if it is that I feel like I need to go get a massage, I do go in and get a massage. I love the beach. The
My
beach is what
favorite
I
place.
do. I love the beach. Sometimes I don't get to go as often, but I really do. When it is that I feel like I'm getting burned out, I find myself at the beach, or a nice villa or a hotel. For me, that's what I do. I don't know what other persons do to like
Right.
get themselves down to earth and relax, and but for me, that's what I do. I, for one, definitely believe in getting massages because I'm on my feet for
All the
hours
time.
at a time
Yeah.
per day. So those are what help me to like maintain my mental health and my self-care. Your girl love getting her nails done. I feel like getting toes done, especially because of it's the massage for me. I like having them done because I like seeing them. But for me, going in and getting like different stuff done, self-care stuff done, that's it for me. That is it.
And might I add here, like you made mention, self-care may look different for
It
everybody.
does.
Self-care for you is getting a massage, getting your nails done, going to the beach, going to the hotel, and just to relax, just to have that time for yourself to recoup, to rejuvenate, to restore, to refresh, to revive, which is absolutely necessary,
It
absolutely
is.
important.
It is.
But it may look different, like you said. So for some persons too, self-care may look for them like reading a book. Some may
Mhm.
be going for dinner, some may be just watching a movie. Whatever your self-care routine is,
Mhm.
my lovely woman of work community, you owe it to yourself to show yourself and give yourself the care that you need. But don't forget too that hair care is some individuals, some women's way of self-caring for themselves.
So true.
And you
So
are
true.
at the right place today watching because my hairstylist here with me, my lovely lady, Sammoy Duncan. You can find her on Instagram at Sammoy Hair Artistry. I think I said something changed. Hair Artistry. So I got it right, right?
Yes,
You
you
can
did.
find her handle and I'm going to leave it in the description after we're done streaming so you can go over to her page. You can follow and you can query about the services as well as you can look in her bio and you will see all the information of the different services too that she offers, right? And one more question I'd like to ask, if you face any challenges uh, as a professional hairstylist, and what are some of the tools that you have applied or implemented that has helped you to overcome some of the challenges as a professional hairstylist?
Ch- Challenges. Ah.
If any, because you sound like you kind of have it down pat.
With everything, there is definitely a challenge, but it's how you manage or how much you let it affect you. That will determine, in my opinion, if it's a challenge. As I said, I like doing research, so I would definitely reach out to get information on something. If it is that it's not available for me, I go to the root of it. Challenge, I'd say maybe getting products in COVID. It was tough. Learning for me is not a challenge because I like seeking information, you know. So with that, I won't say it was easy because you know you have to build, and with building it takes time, but it definitely has a lot to do with your mindset as it relates to what you want from your for yourself.
Mhm.
So for me, for now, I'd say I've been managing well. I don't dwell on issues because I don't like to say problem issues. And if is that something arise, there must be a solution to it. If I can't solve that situation, then there must be somebody out there. And I have mentors. I have a lot of mentors that I reach out to. Right? If it is that something come up and I don't understand it, I reach out. I definitely reach out. And that for me, I think is what some persons don't like to do because they don't want to feel like they're bothering but yeah, girl, it's going to reach out because there are a whole community of hairstylists and
Yes.
persons out there to go to get information, to seek information. And for me, I want to touch on my brand that I'm a part of, a community Redkin.
Ah,
All right. Oh my gosh. When I tell you, they are there to back you and give you whatever information and insights that you need. You just need to reach out to them.
I love
All
that.
right.
I
Oh my
No wonder
God.
your brand, no wonder yourself and your brand is doing so well and you are
Yeah,
successful.
I seek
No wonder,
information.
no
Yeah.
wonder.
Mhm.
You touch, I'm glad that you touched, which reminded me to ask you about uh, that community. And you are the local
I
educator for Red
am.
Ken and
I
the
am.
ambassador, and you have been ambassador to other uh, uh, lines,
Yeah,
beauty product lines.
I have
But
been.
tell us how, I mean, there's so many hairstylists they could have chosen anybody else. I know, of course, that you have a sweet personality, quality service, all of that.
Hmm.
But what do you think stood out about you why you were chosen to be a representative for or an ambassador for this company, which we know is a huge company, a large company, a very prominent company?
It is.
Tell
I
us,
think it's
how did you manage to do it?
my willingness to learn and to research and to always want to find out information. Right? As I said, if it is that I don't understand something, there must be someone somewhere that can give you insight, or if not insight, a few information or
Right.
details, aspect something about it. And as I said, I'm always reaching out, because it is a whole. When I tell you, the beauty industry
I know
may seem like it's this big, but
it's
it
huge. It's
is huge.
huge.
And what I
Huge.
find is that they're very welcoming. Welcome, like meaning like if I go to someone and ask them for information on a particular service or product, or how can I improve on this, or is there anything you can tell me? I'm finding it a little bit challenging. How can is it something that I am doing wrong, or is it something that I need to do better? When I say
So
they're
for,
welcoming, they
so
are.
for persons then who are watching and maybe a hairstylist or aspire to be a professional hairstylist, and they may like what they're hearing right now, what words of advice or wisdom would you give to them? And let's say maybe too they want to develop themselves. Maybe they will want to be a part of the learning community, you being the local educator. What would they need to do? How would they go about it if that information is available in terms of if it's extended, if it's extended outside of uh, how should I say this? Do you have to be a part of the community already to partake of the knowledge, or can they contact you or something? How can they go about it?
They can definitely reach out. It is in the works, because you'll definitely be having classes coming up where you can definitely state your interests or whatever it is that you want to learn. But as I said, it's in the works. Classes are definitely coming up, but you have to be open and willing to learn. You have to be willing to learn in order to grow. So the aim of the hairstylist is to continue learning, never stop learning, never stop
Never stop
investing in yourself.
learning.
The trend is something that it comes and it goes, but you definitely have to be in it to
Yes.
know and understand. And the basics, you can never go wrong with the basics.
Awesome.
So
There may
always
be, mhm,
seek
sorry, go ahead.
information. Now I would say seek information if it is that you don't know or understand.
What to do. Awesome. There may be some professional moms who may be struggling to find their balance with their professional job or career as a hairstylist and as a mom. I know you that you are a very supportive mom. You are very much a part of your son's life. You're always there supporting him and that kind of a thing. What tips can you share with professional moms, professional hairstylists on how to find that balance in being involved, in being interactive in their child or children's life? And I know, of course, that what you're about to share is not necessarily prescriptive for everybody, as everybody is routine, lifestyle, and so on is different. But I'm sure there must be something that they can take away from what you're about to share.
Manage your time. Manage your time
It
well.
don't get no better than that, right? It's nothing hard. Very simple.
Yeah,
Manage your time.
manage your time. Time management is so important. It is very important. If it is that you want to maintain balance, trust me, manage your time. Because for me, like I I started in the industry with a schedule, right? And that has taught me so much. There are times that you may go over on the time that you want to, let's say, close off or start.
Yes.
But once you get that down pat, it makes your life so much easier. I know you have some persons that operate on a first come, first
Right.
serve basis, but for me, that was never in my thought because I know that my time is very important to me and I don't like having my clients come to sit and wait hours
Yes.
to get started. I was never a fan of that. Going to a salon and I have to sit an hour or 2 hours before I get started, or if I go there and I'll see like about 5 persons and then I have to wait until
I'm out of there.
no, that was never me. So for me, with seeing that, I knew from get-go that that would never be me. I would never put
Right.
myself or my client in that capacity to have to wait to be served for something that is like self-care, because it's self-care for them, but it's like leisure for me. I like it. So I don't want you to come here feeling overwhelmed that you have to wait to get served, to be like, it's your self-care. You don't want to feel like you have pressured somebody to help you to relax or get yourself in that like aspect of enjoying a service. And that has definitely helped me to balance like my son and how we go about doing stuff, because if work starts at 9 and I take my last client at about 4:30, I try my best to get home by at least 7:30, because some service will take you up in a job
Right.
person, or some, if you're new to it, you won't understand that depending on how long the service is. Even though you close off at about 5 o'clock, it can take you up to 7, it can take you up to 8. So you have to know, I don't skimp with time.
I like that. I really, really like that. And I really do hope that for those who are watching again live and those who will be watching on the rebound, my lovely lady here, Sammoy Duncan, has shared a lot of nuggets. She has shared some words of wisdom. She has shared some tips or tricks. Whatever way you want to look at it, she has shared a mouthful on ways in which you can help or apply, tools in which you can apply to develop yourself as an individual, as a professional hairstylist, and also how to increase your clientele. All of what she has shared all ties in into building oneself up. And in building yourself up, automatically your brand or clientele will build or will increase. So I really thank you so much for sharing all of those nuggets that you have shared with us. And again, like I just said too earlier, said rather that some of what you shared are things that some of us can take away, even if we're not a hairstylist. Some of the tips that you share are tips that we can apply to our lives as individuals or other professionals. And so I really want to thank you so much for sharing and taking the time out to sit with us, to share with the beautiful Woman of Worth community, and to encourage someone to know that if they should try and they have failed or it just did not work out, they can try again. And also, you have encouraged and inspired those watching to know and believe too that if there is a problem, there has to be a solution. It's not just something that we should just be looking in the face and just thinking it's the end of the world. There's always a solution. There are resources out there, people. You can do your research. Look up what it is that you need to do to build yourself or your brand, and also to ensure that you can take constructive criticism well. Allow yourself to be at the place of humility, or ask God to grant you the grace to be at the place of humility, like my leading lady, Sammoy Duncan here, who has just shared on some of the most profound ways in which you can build yourself. We're at a close today, but don't forget that the Woman of Worth podcast streams every weekend. Well, at least until I go back to school. Or school begins again for me. Summer is out for me, but remember to stay tuned for the live broadcast and some of the tips that will be shared, some of the information, some things that will be shared to educate you, because it's always about informing, educating, inspiring an individual, but also to let you know that if God has done it for us and He has built us, He has caused us to be shining. He has caused our gifts and our talents to be manifesting in bringing joy, love, and happiness to individuals, to cause them to see themselves in also another way or another. Remember to take care of yourself. I love you, but God loves you more. And remember, guys, to go over to Sammoy Hair Artistry, follow, and also to query. Whatever question you need to ask about the services, you can also look into her bio. You see the different services, because what she shared, she did not share the vast amount of services that she offers, but she does a lot of services. So you can go over and check her out. And I guarantee it will be money well spent. It will be time well spent. You will not regret it. From me know this girl till now, with the regret from you used to work at the same place to she being on her own. She has been so consistent. And I forgot to share this one thing before I go. The other day I was doing a client, right? I don't recall seeing the client's face before. And we were just there talking. And then I asked her a question. I said to her, is it your first time here? And she said, no. I said, okay, I don't recall seeing your face before. And then the conversation went into a direction where she started talking about who she knows. And then she said, someone, I just love that girl. And then it happens maybe why I'm not so familiar with her face either. It's because she doesn't live here in Jamaica anymore either. But she's familiar with the place, right? And I said, oh, maybe that's why I don't know it. But then she went further to say, Samoa has been my girl from she used to be here until now she's on her own. So clearly this is a client who travels and follows you and is with you and does services with you. I completely forgot her name. But she spoke so highly of you. And I was just thinking, if this woman don't really know me, because she don't recall my face either. So I'm saying to myself, she don't really know me, and she's there telling me about somebody that I know very well, that what she's saying is exactly so. So you're not only consistent in the services, but the languages spoken about you out there is the very same. So I just want to say to you right here, as I've always told you, girl, I love you and I am very proud of you. Keep shining, keep doing the great job that you're doing, and continue to be an inspiration to those young women or young hairstylists, whether by age or young in the business, who may be trying to figure out how can they build themselves or build their brand. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, and continue to be the great leader that you are, girl. I love you all. I love you, Sam. Shalom. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Bye-bye, girl. Thank you so much.